So, hi guys. I hope you guys missed me. I hope that you guys are wondering, well, what is going on over there at the Perfect Lemonade? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. The universe, it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And so, I got a little story. So, every story has a beginning. And so, briefly, I'll tell you how, the Perfect Lemonade, it was an idea that came up many years ago. It has been about joy, happiness, and resilience, and how individual that process is. I love originality and individual processes. So that's where this all started. And in May, I launched everything, and no, it wasn't complete. It was just the beginning, and I felt like sometimes you just have to dive off the cliff and just jump right in, and like my dad used to say all the time, step out on faith and just begin. And the muses will carry you. And of course, the muses did carry me, and I'm as excited and I'm ready to roll, and everything is great. It had been a difficult year, just a lot of family stuff, personal stuff with family and whatnot, but I was excited and really ready to begin. And then I got a phone call. And a really close friend and the mother of my nephew says, Tamara, we are looking for Chris. He went swimming, and we're here at the Chattahoochee, and we can't find him. Did you know? And I'm no, but I'm on my way. Send me the loop. And so I'm on my way, and it's only in hindsight do I realize and now accept the fact that it was kind of at that moment when I started not really functioning. The sun was coming up and the sun was going down, and I was doing stuff. So, last week I go to my doctor's office, and I'm telling my doctor that clearly there is something wrong, and I need something. I need some medicine. I need something because I'm depressed, and I just don't like anything anymore. Like, nothing makes me happy anymore. Like, nothing. And I had called my mom, and you have to know how serious I was not feeling well at all, because I just don't call my mom. Like, when you call my mom, it's like equivalent to calling 911, but I needed my mom. So she met me at the doctor's office, and I'm talking to the doctor, and I'm telling him all of these surface things. Just, I don't know what happened. So my mom interrupts, and she says, no, we just lost one of our babies, and I've been watching her, and she's been comforting people and telling everyone that everything's okay, and supporting, and just being okay. And she's like, and I've been waiting for her to not be okay. And so my doctor said, you're mourning, and this is normal. It's a process, and there are steps to this process, and you don't need any medicine. You need to do what makes your soul happy, and just tell everybody no. And so while my doctor's telling me this, I'm still kind of trying to help a friend and text them and fix something and just tell them, oh, hold on, I'll help and fix that in a minute. And my doctor said, you don't have anything to give anyone. And that is why you're here, because you're, in essence, I'm pushing a car with no. So to be honest, I am a person who handles stress and heartache, I think pretty well. However, the death of my nephew was just the straw that broke the camel's back. The last year has been filled with, disappointment from family and friends, just compounded. And that was just it for me. I think my spirit was just, I think the reason that I am usually able to handle stress and heartache so well is because I'm very in tune with my spiritual self. I enjoy my spirituality. I enjoy learning about it and studying it and practicing it. And my spiritual being is usually so intact that I can handle things. But my human side was done. And really, so was my spiritual side. I have been heartbroken, and I was heartbroken before the death of my nephew. I think that just, I don't think, certainly that just brought me to my knees, because it was just too much. And so I've had the opportunity to think about why, and so here's an even better story as to what my nephew meant for me. And so my brother's children, my older brother's children, were my first babies. So my brother has 4 children, 3 boys and a girl, and they are all like these magical creatures. Like, they can do like all this like fantastic stuff. Like, really, they're pretty awesome. And Chris was just like one of his awesome magical kids. I mean, he like played a guitar, and he could draw, and he rode a skateboard, and he was just cool, super cool. But that's not the most important part. I was there when Chris took his first breath, and his mother let me help to name him, and I just thought his name was super cool, and we got this name for this boy, and he matched the name. It was pretty cool, and he was my first like real experience being around like a baby, like all the time. His mom and I were best friends, and so I was there all the time, and I just remembered some of these awesome things that she did as a mom, and it was just like, it impacted my life. It impacted me as a mother. It was some things that I will never forget. When Chris was born, I was, I had a boyfriend at the time, but I didn't have any children. And I remember his mom used to be horrified at my lack of motherly instinct. I had zero. I mean, I'm like, well, don't they know this stuff already? Like, they look like they're smart enough to understand stuff, right? But his birth was an education. I remember my life in phases, and his birth was a different phase because I was there from the beginning. And so I had always been around all of my brother's children. The difference was just how involved I was able to be in his birth and just his beginnings in the world. And so I think that's where the heartache begins. It sounds like it's about me, but it's not. It's about so much more. I was prepared when my father died. My father's death was a release of him being out of pain. It was welcome. I'm sure everyone understands what I mean, but I will explain because not everyone has had to sit with someone who was terminal and not knew they were dying, to watch someone you love suffer, and to know that they are with limited time is terribly heart-wrenching. And when they're ready to go, you want them to. So you release them, and you miss them, and you mourn them. But see, when a person's terminal, you get the advantage, I guess, if there's any, of mourning them every day, like while they're here. It's a different process. You know it's coming. It doesn't hurt any less, but you know it's coming, so you can brace yourself. And then there's the pain of a miscarriage, of a life that's been promised, and the excitement of birth, and all the promises and the preparation of having a new life, a baby. There's so much promise there. And then you go on in your life, and you live, because, in my situation, I have 2 children, and we got stuff to do, and you got to keep going, right? Because this is life, and you've got to live it, and you have to be okay. Like, you don't have a choice. Being okay is just what you got to be, right? Everything's all right. And so you pick yourself up, and you go back to work, and you keep moving, and you go on, and you give of yourself, because you think that giving of yourself more somehow helps to heal you, because if you can help someone else, well, doesn't that make you better? But then you realize, no. And then you realize that shit is just not okay. That family member that, you were really close with, that, left you high and dry, that shit ain't okay. The family that didn't appreciate you, that shit is not okay. The friends, the lovers, the people that were, they were supposed to love you, right? But they didn't. But you kept giving, and you kept trying, and you kept trying, all for them to basically tell you no thank you. All for them to say, when I needed you, you weren't there for me anyway. And so I'm saying all this to say that over this last year, I had been spiritually and physically depleted, neglected my own finances, my own health, my own spiritual growth. And so the death of my nephew was really just too much. It's too much. I needed him to fulfill all these promises that we had for his life, and I didn't have anything specific. Just knowing he was there. And so here we are back at the doctor's office last week, in which my doctor's telling me, you don't got to fix people. You don't have to be there for people. You can not answer your phone and tell people no. And I just don't feel like it. And that feels kind of nice. because I need this time. I need this time to heal and to do things that make my spirit happy. And what makes my spirit happy is writing, and that's how I like to express myself, and it helps me to learn about myself. But first, I got to get my words back, because this type of heartache has always left me with no words. There's just no words. I've never been able to really express to anyone in words what the loss of my father meant, or the loss of my pregnancy, and I don't have any words for this either. And so I might just be recording more videos and just expressing myself, but I'm not sure if I'm able to really write like I've done. I don't know where to start. But that's where I've been, and it's just funny how things are, in the sense that it just seems like the universe will always test you. Whenever you start something new, whenever you are, setting out on a new path, there's always going to be, some growth that has to take place. And so somewhere in between, that caterpillar and the butterfly. And I'm not saying that my nephew's death was the challenge. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying how large of me to start off this whole joy, happiness, and resilience, because I know what I'm doing, right? And here I am, living and being stuck. But I made this video today because I hope that someone will listen, and they'll think, and they'll know that it's okay to be stuck sometimes, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to not know. It's okay to live sometimes, and to just keep going. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're here today still, you're winning. It's an opportunity to grow and to change and to come to terms with and figure out just what you're doing and why. Because losing someone changes all of that. And like my doctor said, there will be scars, and that's okay. It's way better than trying to cover up a wound and packing it closed and shoving everything inside. You gotta let it out, and you gotta find a way to do that honors the people that left you.